Shabbat Shalom, family.
Right to stay on South Jeff Davis Drive.
I gotta have my girl direct me. I ain't trying to be lost in these streets. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Shabbat? It is gorgeous.
Continue on South Jeff Davis Drive for 1.5 miles.
I know you all probably are pointing out that I'm always saying that, but each day above ground is a gorgeous day, right? So it's a gorgeous day. My honey bear and I were listening to GOCC. Those are our teachers. Those who we learn under. And we were looking at an older video that we missed a couple of weeks ago in reference to feminism, and we as black women, did we get duped into fighting the battles of other people and then end up on the bottom? And it was a great discussion on so many different levels. Let me turn this down. You guys might be hearing that noise really loud. I have to keep the windows up so that there won't be too much noise. And so I put the AC on. So yes, the conversation was really good. And I wanted to discuss what I knew about feminism when I was younger, which was very little, because my mother, the women in my family never discussed those things. We never had a bunch of political conversation when I was coming up. I never heard a lot of political conversation in our families and family settings. So that wasn't something that I grew up saying, oh, strong black woman, blah, 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 blah. Not that there's anything wrong with being a strong black woman, because that's kind of redundant. We are strong and resilient. That's who we are. But we didn't have to announce it to the world. That's who we are low-key, you know, quiet and subtle, but strong. That's who we were supposed to be. But did this feminist movement spark something inside of us that should not have been put there in the first place? If everybody was in proper order with the Father, there would be no need for that. But a feminist, to me, when I was a little girl, was somebody that just fought for female rights. That was the extent of my knowledge when I was younger. When I heard about it, it didn't intrigue me to look into it or figure it all out. But I did think that it was just for us to defend ourselves, because it seemed as though some men,
Quarter mile, keep left to continue on Georgia 314 West Fayetteville.
Some men were trying to put us down or keep us down, or, you know, it tends to make you feel like these men are trying to be cruel to us, and so we got to come from underneath their foot. They got their foot on our necks, and we got to come from under it. I didn't have a fight in that battle because I was young. I didn't experience anything like that yet to see if men were being cruel to women. I didn't have any knowledge of this stuff at that time. But it looked like, as I got older,
left to continue on Georgia 314,
that men were mistreating women and looking down on women and not allowing us
continue on Georgia 314
the same rights as they had. Now, when I was discussing it with Moses, we were talking about how it was sad that we put, oh Lord, down yonder. It looks dark again too. I don't know. I was looking at how we were forced to be the head of the household because our husbands, or whatever you want to call them, our men were not present. And a lot of us did make poor choices. We saw a cute guy and blah, 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 and babies were born. And then we had no help in the home, because this man wasn't planning on being with us forever. You know, a lot of us had these men that was a fling or whatever, and then you end up getting pregnant. There was no talk of a long-term relationship. There was no discussion of a future. It was just, oh, he's fine and let me be with him kind of thing, which is foolish. But a lot of our children have been born that way. A lot of us have been born like that. And so that was a bad start, because now you have broken homes. Now we're in a position where we need to earn money to take care of our children. So we want the jobs that the men have. We want the money that the men have, because we need it, because now we're fending for ourselves and our children. So I thought back then that this feminist movement was more about that, more of making things fair in the corporate world or whatever. It could be a warehouse, it could be anything. Just making the pay fair across the board. Now, from what I understood is that the fear was always more for men because the men were the heads of household. And initially, it was ideal for women to be home, caring for the home, taking care of the babies, and, doing what we're supposed to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody ever tell you that something is wrong with that. Your place is where you make your place. And if you and your husband discuss that you both want to have an income because you're making a plan and a goal together, then that's fine too, either way. But I'm speaking of households that were run by women, and we needing those funds to maintain and survive because we were not getting that help from our men. But if you look at how God ordained things to be and how we mess things up, what would you prefer? Because I know I would prefer to have a man in my household helping me along the way, being our provider and our protector. Makes perfect sense. So what the feminist movement turned out to be, as I'm older and I'm looking at it, it looks like they taught us to hate our men and say we don't need them, and that's a lie. And that was destructive to the black family, because absolutely we needed our men. You can't make a baby without them. That's number one. None of us would be born without a father. We all come from the sperma. So don't say we don't need them, because we do. Absolutely we do. So they taught us that it was okay to, to put our man down. And it seemed like every other culture wasn't doing that. I do remember seeing Chinese women walking behind their husbands and stuff like that. It seemed like all the other cultures were not feisty and, against their man. They was working with him. And I know some of you are probably saying, yeah, but they treat their women so bad. And it's true, because a lot of the cultures, they do mistreat their women. There's a order to things that God ordained. But when man is not under the leadership of Christ, who is under the leadership of the Father, then things get all awry and crazy. And this is why a man would say, I'm the boss of you, and mistreat his woman, when that was definitely not God's intention for man to mistreat his woman, treat her like she's a nothing, that she don't have a brain. That was never God's intention. That's man. That's man's foolishness. So I guess the white feminism movement, because it started by I believe she was a lesbian. Yes, she was a lesbian. And she was pushing abortion and everything, but more so in our communities, because those abortion clinics were set up in our communities. So what she was doing was like, let's eliminate all these babies being made in these communities, and let's give them a reason to abort them. Let's let them say, you have a choice, you have a right to decide whether you want to have a baby or not, even after the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply, right? We're going to decide that we can kill our babies instead of being fruitful, but we want to enjoy sex without the responsibility also. So we're thinking, we can run to the abortion clinic,
turn left onto Georgia 279 North,
and use abortion as some type of birth control, when we should have been using self-control and not lying up with these men getting pregnant before there was even a commitment and a family plan. They call that family planning. Oh, you don't get pregnant until you want to get pregnant. So even if you are married, you can family plan when the whole point in getting together was for procreation. So I was just kind of looking at the whole thing and what I thought of it when I was younger, as opposed to what I think of it now. And it's a bunch of garbage, a bunch of foolishness that has nothing to do with what the Lord set up for us as family. The family structure has been torn apart in our communities. And I mean, you would have to be blind, deaf, and dumb if you don't see it. And if you think it's okay, you're blind, deaf, and dumb. It's not okay. We see what's going on in our community.
Continue on Georgia 279 North for 7 miles.
There's nothing wrong with going to get your education and getting yourself a good job and being equipped to take care of yourself, just in case. Sometimes our husbands pass away, and sometimes you get married and the relationship don't work out. So yes, you need to be able to jump on your feet and get going and move on in your life. But you don't have to Be an educated woman who makes good money, who runs around saying, I don't need no man. And that was my mindset. I didn't have no great education or a fantabulous job where I was making great money. But my mindset was, I don't need no man. Because I felt that if a man was only going to come into my life to hurt me, to harm me and my children, then I didn't need him. But see, that what goes to show when we don't look for a man who loves the Lord, you can expect those things to happen. And I'm not saying a man who calls himself a Christian or names himself, gives himself a title to want you to think that he's something that he's not. I'm talking about a godly man, a man who understands his position and knows the Lord, and he knows what his job is when he's with a woman and they make a family together. I'm talking about that brother. That's the brother we all dream of. But we need to be the woman that they dream of. It goes both ways. It works both ways. I think we've been so messed up because we've been broken from day one in our homes with our father. And I believe the elder mentioned something about a lot of you women don't even go to your father for advice. And I'm like, that's a fact. A lot of us don't have fathers whom we can take advice from because they were not good examples in the first place. And they're not righteous either. Some of them might have been around and they might have been taking care of the family financially, but they weren't good examples. You would see them looking at other women and cheating on their wives, so they weren't godly men. So it's like, why would I ask this person for advice? He's not living the life of the man that I want to be with. So because we were lacking righteous examples, everybody was all kind of messed up, and now we're here figuring it out. It's funny. I'm up in age now. I'm 53. I'm somebody's grandmama, and I'm still learning my position in a relationship with a man. Right, boo?
Yep.
Still learning to be quiet, and it's hard. And I told him that. I said, initially I was alone without a man for 14 years, right? And I'm running my own household. I'm doing everything by myself, for myself, and taking care of everybody, and no one's taking care of me. So now he kept saying that. He said, you just step back. And I'm like, what is that? Like, it's hard to step back when you was always in the forefront. Somebody's calling. That's Kiana. Okay. Hold your peace, family. Hold your peace. I got to answer my baby. Hit that for me. I can't get it. Did she hang up? Yes, mama. Yes. I'm coming. I'm coming. Moses is with me. I'm not even sure. I got the GPS on the phone I'm speaking to you on. So I didn't get I can't look at it right now. I didn't pay attention. How soon are y'all gonna do that? What time? Oh, yeah. I'll be there before that. You said Nicole reached already? Oh, okay, because she had called me. She said, it's so much traffic, but I'm on my way. I said, okay, you're going to beat me there. So, okay. All right, see you shortly. All right, bye-bye. Sorry about that, fam. But anywho, the basis of this conversation is really to teach us, is to just get us to open our minds about what a godly relationship is between a man and a woman. There's nothing wrong with that man being ahead at all, especially if he's a godly man. Now, this is our biggest problem. Our biggest problem is finding a godly man who understands what his position is. Because Lord have mercy, who is doing that? Wow. And it sounds horrible. I don't even hear the music. It's just the bass.
I know, just the turn.
People are insane.
They all in it.
Man. But anyway, I think that women should learn to bow down. We don't teach our women that anymore. We teach our women that, you go to school, you get your education, you don't need no man. This is what we teach our daughters. And then we teach our daughters to hate men or not trust men by the conversations that we have. We have a lot of horrible conversations in front of our daughters. And I remember when I thought about it, when they got a little older, I said, man, that wasn't good. I had to apologize to my daughters for that, because when they hear women sitting around and you saying, yeah, because he this and he that, he this and he that, as if we got it going on, like we had it all together, which we did not. We didn't realize we didn't. We just thought we were good women just because we thought we wouldn't cheat on the man. But it's more to being a good woman than that. You know, we have to take care of our bodies. We have to understand we have to respect our man. We need to have goals set. We can't expect a man to have goals and then we don't. We expect this man to give us everything and we give him nothing, because we think we're so great just the way we are. And man, we have poor attitudes and poor mentalities. It works both ways. A good man wants a good woman, and are you prepared to be with a good man? We always want so much from our men, and then we want to give them nothing because we think we're all that they need. But are you a housewife? Are you a good cook? Can you sew? Are you virtuous? Like, there's so many things that go with that word woman, the title woman and wife. There's a lot of things that go with it. It's not just what's between your legs and what you look like, the shape of your body. All our women running around here with all this fake body parts, and just because we're so insecure, we don't love ourselves. And then he brought up the point that it's idolatry. Just looking in the mirror, that person that you see in that mirror is not even you, because you added so much to yourself. You've added so much to yourself. You're not even you anymore. You have false eyelashes. We call it Botox lips, you know, weave down to your kneecaps, false breasts. You got your stomach tucked, belly tucked, just a tiny little waist. The hip to ratio and breast area is just crazy. It looks insane. The bodies are shaped so crazily, and people admire that. They think that's cute. Everybody wants to look like that. And a man of God, he is not interested in any of that. Now, I do find it very important for us to take care of our bodies. We should look our best. You want a good-looking man, you need to be a good-looking woman, in all fairness. But to go and do these crazy things to yourself, risking death and poor health, is ridiculous, because I'm sure a good man of God, he's not concerned about all of that. He's the one woman to look like that, when she's drawing attention to herself everywhere she goes. And that's idolatry. You just want people to look at you. Oh, she looks good. She looks good. What else do you have to offer? We demand so much from our men, and I don't know if we've set a bar for ourselves. And then there's a lot of women who are doing very well for themselves, but their self-esteem issues still end up having them be with a man who's doing nothing. We're going around with these men who are doing nothing. Literally. How can any man feel good sitting around doing nothing, not contributing to the household, while his woman is out there busting her behind, grinding and doing things to become successful, and coming home taking care of the children on top of it all, and then him at night? That's a lot. Where is your participation in the relationship? But women, we have to stop. We really do. Set your mind on a godly man that's going to help you build yourself spiritually and help you function in this world. Because that's what he's for. We're the help me, but he's the provider and the protector. And we're all out of course. Everybody's doing whatever. It's crazy. It really is crazy. And our poor children are confused, because what are we teaching our children? We are teaching our children to be less than what they're supposed to be, what the Father ordained them to be. And we're switching positions. The world is teaching us now, do whatever you feel, do what you want, do it how you like. You could be what you want to be. If you're born a girl, you don't have to stay a girl. If you're born a boy, you don't have to stay a boy. You could make your mind up to be whatever gender fluent, whatever. I don't even know all these crazy terms. I'm not even trying to be politically correct. I'm trying to be spiritually sound. Biblically correct. That's what I'm trying to do. All of this crazy nonsense, you have to remember to call them this word and call them that word. We're living in a crazy time, and all of this stuff started from the feminist movement. If you did your research and you looked this stuff up, it all started from that. And it just gets worse and worse. It's all about doing what you want to do outside of the order of the Most High God. and look at the craziness that's going on in this world. It's insane. But in any event, it was a powerful lesson, and it's just something to think about. You know, it's always good to refresh yourself and to remember what it is the Lord placed us on this earth for and what our roles are that we're supposed to be playing. He's a wise God. He knows what he's doing. Why we fight him so much? We're always fighting against God instead of just relaxing and going with what he asks us to go with. He doesn't ask much, and what he asks us to do is for our protection, for our enjoyment, for our life to be better, to be its best. And we reject that.